Evening. My name's Marjorie. I'm 72 and I look after the church hall at my local church, and I've been doing that for a few years, and it's become particularly important to me now because my husband's died, and you know, the church could really do with the money from the rental. But my issue is that when I'm at the back of the church taking bookings, I've got this bag full of bits of paper and diaries and pens, and I might make a note and then put it back in the bag, and then when I get home to the book where all the bookings live next to my phone, I've got to remember to put them all back in the diary so that the system sort of stays in sync. And I'm a little bit nervous, and that's a bit tricky for me. Now, if I could work... Oh, yeah. So we invented Marjorie on Thursday as a persona, a fictitious character, so we could think through Marjorie's problem of looking after her church hall. And then my colleague here went to a meeting in a church hall in Ludham, and this is his story.
So I thought I'd take the opportunity to ask the organizer how he booked the hall, right? And it turned out to be quite a long story. He started a few weeks ago, and he called the verger, and the verger gave him two numbers, one for Rose and one, believe it or not, for a woman called Marjorie. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. He gave my friend these two numbers. He called them up. Rose, sadly, was not able to answer the phone. She's been taken into care and has had to give up her long duty. She stopped at the age of 89 running the bookings for the church hall, right? And Marjorie really wanted to help, but she had lost her books. Not really lost, actually. That's stretching it a point. She had put them somewhere and she wasn't there. It took 2 weeks to organize the booking.
So there's clearly a problem here. There are churches which are in need of maintenance. They could make revenue from their church halls if they had a better solution for booking. Now, there are many booking systems in the world. This is a crowded market. The problem is booking systems need people to book halls. We invented a persona called Alison, who was a dance teacher, and this is Alison. This is Ben in real life, who was looking for a church hall to book his kid's party in. And he used the internet. I mean, you might imagine the internet would be a good place to find that. But he found it really difficult to find the actual phone number of the actual person who had the actual keys. And so he went to a church and found the phone number pinned on a piece of cardboard to a notice board at the back of the church. I'm sorry if I get to talk fast, but I'm quite excited about this next bit. So there are directory sites where you could find people who have church halls to hire. They have a problem too. The problem with the directory sites is they are never actually up to date. So we carry on to Everyday Spaces, which is our solution to this problem, putting people like Marjorie in touch with people like Ben. Is it? Oh, you're kidding me. Why does it do that? Okay, great. You just carry, in fact, you do this bit. I'll just click my fingers. That's much better. I wasn't expecting that to be a problem, you know. So the solution is we need to put people like Marjorie in touch with people like Ben. We have a solution to this. The solution is to put together both the booking system and the directory so that the booking system is kept up to date by Marjorie. She wants to keep it up to date because it's her booking system. It feeds data into the directory where people like Ben can find church halls. There are famously one church for every week in Norwich. That's 52 Marjories. There are 650 churches in the Norfolk diocese. That's 650 Marjories. There are 37,500 places of worship in the UK. That's 37,500 Marjories. You add onto that the 8 more faiths, and that is a whole metric ton of people like Marjorie, who we, Everyday Spaces, can help by making churches everyday places. That's 4 minutes? You are kidding me. I shouldn't have paused. Okay, so, boring office space, really nice meeting room in a church, which you could find if you knew where it was. Business model, nobody cares, it's just about money. Next slide, next slide. We've only got a minute to go. Next slide, please. That is the next slide. No, that's the love. I've done that one. Next. I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. Next, come on. Oh yeah, the Nominate Trust, they're our friends. They'll probably fund it if we ask them nicely to get a proof of concept up and running. We've worked with them before. The Diocese of Norwich, they're just local. They're bound to want one of these, right? So the idea is joint venture, Diocese of Norwich, plus funding from Nominate Trust equals actual, genuine project with actual demand from actual real people. And Marjorie says thank you. Oh dear.
We'd have loved to have done a demo.
The one more thing I would love to say is that we've had most of these people working on this project all weekend. The problem with our demo is there's too much actually working infrastructure and code to show you in a demo. Go to that website, book a fictitious church hall, and you'll understand what we're on about. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, or log in as Marjorie, and you can manage your church hall.
So I have a question.
Any questions?
So there's a number of sites out there for booking offices from random spaces. Why are churches not currently using those for their meeting spaces? And also, how will you get over the barrier of people not being very tech savvy, who might be the ones running the churches?
Now, we can do the second one. The people who are helping run church halls who aren't very tech savvy aren't going to be running church halls for very much longer.
It's a sad truth.
But it's just true.
I just have one question.
Retiring.
They're retiring.
One question only. What did you have for breakfast?
Sorry?
What did you have for breakfast?
He is always like this.
My goodness.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got a customer too. So I was meant to say that. The business person says, got to mention, church in Gorleston, they want one. Okay, great.
So we have an interested customer and he's waiting for a call on Monday. So that's that, and log on to our site. Thank you very much.